I never thought I'd be the guy writing a story like this, but here I am. My name's Jake, and I've been with my wife, Lisa, for about 8 years now. We met in college, got married right after, and since then I thought we had a pretty solid life. She wasn't perfect. She could be bitchy, manipulative sometimes, but I loved her. Or at least I thought I did. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but nothing prepared me for what I found out recently. It all started about 2 months ago. My mom passed away unexpectedly, and honestly that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. She was sick, but still, losing her hit me hard. I spent a lot of days just grieving, trying to get through the funeral, the wake, the whole damn process. Lisa was there, acting like she cared, but I noticed little things. Her phone buzzing constantly, her texting during the funeral, her avoiding me at times when I needed her most. I brushed it off, told myself she was just stressed or upset. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. The signs started stacking up. After the funeral, she became more distant, secretive with her phone, and her excuses for everything seemed weaker. She'd say she was just tired or she needed time to herself. But I could tell she was hiding something. She'd go out shopping and come back with new clothes that I hadn't seen before, or she'd suddenly have to work late when I knew she didn't have any meetings or appointments. We argued about it a couple of times, but she'd always give me that fake smile, the one that said, "You're imagining things." I was too exhausted to push harder. Honestly, I was just trying to hold everything together, not wanting to believe I could be so blind. Then came the night I found the proof. I was cleaning up the living room after a long day at work, trying to distract myself, when I noticed her phone on the coffee table. Usually I didn't snoop. I don't believe in that. But something told me to check. I unlocked her phone, and what I saw hit me like a punch to the gut. There were texts, flirty, suggestive, even outright explicit messages between her and my best friend Ryan. I knew they had been close, but I never suspected it was like this. The messages were full of talk about meeting up, sex, sneaking around during the funeral, even jokes about how we're the only ones who get to see the real us. I couldn't breathe. My stomach twisted, my heart pounding so loud I thought it would explode. I sat there, staring at the screen, trying to process what I'd just read. My mind was racing, a flood of betrayal and anger. How could Lisa do this? How could she be so cruel to me while I was grieving my mom? And Ryan, my best friend, how could he betray me like that? I never saw it coming. We'd been through so much together, shared everything, and I thought I knew them both. Turns out I was just blind. It wasn't just a fling. They'd been sneaking off at the wake, hiding their sex, lying to my face and making a mockery of my grief. I felt so humiliated, so betrayed, I didn't even cry at first. Just sat there numb. That night I didn't sleep. I kept flipping between disbelief and rage. The thought of Lisa with Ryan while I was mourning made me sick. I kept questioning myself. Did I miss the signs? Was I such a terrible husband that she had to cheat to feel alive? Or was she just a bitchy, manipulative woman who always wanted more? I didn't know what to feel: anger, sadness, disappointment all at once. I kept replaying the moments when she lied, the times she dismissed my concerns, her fake smiles when she wanted something. It all clicked into place now, and I knew I couldn't stay silent. I had to confront her, but I wasn't sure what would come next. The next morning, I knew I had to face her. I didn't want to, but I couldn't sit there pretending everything was fine anymore. I waited until she was in the kitchen, sipping her coffee, acting like nothing was wrong. I felt my hands trembling as I picked up her phone from the table and laid it out in front of her. She looked up, surprised, initially like she didn't know what I was about to do, but her eyes quickly narrowed when she saw what I was holding. "Lisa," I said, voice hoarse but steady, "I've seen the messages. The ones between you and Ryan. Do you want to tell me what the hell is going on?" She blinked, then a sly smile played across her face. "Oh, come on, Jake, you're overreacting. It's just some stupid flirtation. It doesn't mean anything." I couldn't believe her. I felt rage boil over, but I kept my voice calm. "Really, just some flirtation? These messages say otherwise. You've been sneaking around during my mom's funeral, lying to my face and having sex with my best friend. How do you explain that?" She scoffed, crossing her arms. "You're making a big deal out of nothing. Ryan and we're just bored, that's all. It's not like we're planning to run away together or anything. Besides, you were grieving. I didn't want to burden you with my feelings. I needed some comfort, and Ryan was there. Her words hit me like a punch. Comfort during my mother's funeral. That was her excuse. I stared at her, feeling my stomach turn again. Comfort during the wake. While I was holding my mother's hand, crying, "You're such a bitch, Lisa. You think that's okay?" She rolled her eyes. "I'm just saying. It wasn't some big conspiracy. It was stupid, sure, but it's over now. It's just sex, Jake. It doesn't change how I feel about you." That was the moment I snapped. I couldn't take her lying anymore. I told her I wanted her out of the house, that I didn't want to see her face again until she was willing to own up to what she did. She laughed, a bitter, mocking laugh, and said I was overreacting, that I was being insecure, that Ryan was just a friend, and that I was jealous and crazy. Then she stormed out, slamming the door behind her, leaving me standing there with her phone in my hand and my world falling apart. I spent the next few days in a fog. My mind kept replaying everything. The betrayal cut deeper than I thought it could. Every time I looked at her clothes, her belongings, I felt this sick twisting in my stomach, like I'd been punched in the gut repeatedly. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I kept asking myself why. Why would she do this? During one of the worst times of my life, she chose to betray me with the guy I trusted most. It was so wrong, it was so fucked up. I wondered if I'd ever recover from this. Now I'm sitting here, still trying to put the pieces together, still trying to figure out what I want to do next. Part of me wants to tear everything apart, confront Ryan, make him suffer like I am now. But a bigger part just feels numb, exhausted from the emotional roller coaster. I keep telling myself I deserve better than a wife who cheats on me during my grief, who lies about everything, who treats my feelings like they don't matter. But that doesn't make it any easier. The pain is real, and I'm just trying to hold on, trying not to lose my mind over this whole mess. I keep thinking about the future, about whether I can forgive her, if I even want to. And honestly, I don't know. All I know is that I'm done pretending everything is fine. This betrayal changed everything, and I don't think I can go back to pretending she's the woman I thought I knew. After those first few days of shock and rage, I knew I had to make some decisions. I wasn't about to keep living in this hell of betrayal and lies. I spent hours just lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to sort through my feelings. Part of me wanted to confront her again, to scream at her, to demand she tell me everything. How long it had been going on, what it meant, if she still saw Ryan, if she ever loved me at all. But another part of me just wanted to be done with her, to get out of this toxic mess and find some peace. The thing is, she didn't make it easy. Lisa, of course, started playing the victim. She called me insecure and possessive, said I was overreacting and that I'd ruin everything if I kept pushing. She tried to spin it like she was just a woman with needs, that I wasn't enough for her anymore, that she was stressed and confused. She even told me she was sorry if she hurt me, but that she really didn't think she was doing anything wrong. That's when I realized how manipulative she could be. She always had a way of twisting things around to make herself the victim, even when she was clearly the one at fault. One night I decided I couldn't take it anymore. I needed clarity, so I reached out to Ryan. I didn't call him directly. I found an old email from him on her phone and I sent him a message pretending I was an old friend asking about some work stuff. When he replied, I just cut straight to the point. "Are you sleeping with Lisa?" His response was quick. Yes, they'd been having sex for months. Not just during the funeral, but well before that. He even admitted they had plans to meet again soon, that they were sick of hiding it. Hearing that made my blood boil. I couldn't believe I'd been so blind, so naive, to think my best friend was just a buddy. The betrayal cut so deep I felt like I was suffocating. That night, I sat there with the phone in my hand, just staring at the messages. I knew I had to do something drastic. I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay, not after learning the truth. I decided I'd have to confront Lisa again, face her with what I knew. But I also knew that I couldn't keep living under her shadow, not when she'd lied straight to my face, not when she'd betrayed everything we had. I started thinking about what I wanted: a clean break, a fresh start, or maybe even trying to fight for us to work things out, though at this point that seemed almost impossible. I was angry, yes. Heartbroken, definitely. But more than anything, I felt betrayed, like I'd been punched in the stomach so many times I couldn't stand up straight. The woman I'd trusted with my life had been lying to me for months, possibly longer. And my best friend, I didn't even want to see his face anymore. I kept asking myself how I got to this point, how someone I cared about so much could do something so cruel. How could she look me in the eye and lie, act like everything was fine, while she was sneaking around behind my back? That question haunted me, and it made me realize that I'd been sitting in a prison of my own making, believing everything was okay when it was. Now, I'm trying to figure out what comes next. Do I confront her face to face? Do I just pack my things and leave? Do I cut her out of my life completely? Honestly, I don't have all the answers yet, but I do know that I can't stay in this toxic cycle anymore. I deserve better. I deserve someone who won't betray me at my worst. And right now, I'm just trying to breathe through the pain, gather my strength, and decide what's best for me moving forward. The confrontation I had planned in my head kept echoing in my mind, but when the moment finally came, I didn't handle it the way I thought I would. I didn't yell, didn't scream. Instead, I felt this numbness wash over me. I called Lisa at work, told her I needed to talk, and told her to come home. When she arrived, she tried to play it cool, acting like she had no idea what I was about to say. I just looked at her and laid out everything I'd discovered. The messages, the truth about Ryan, the lies she'd spun about the funeral. Her face twisted into this annoyed, bitchy expression, like she was bored with the whole thing. She rolled her eyes and said, "Jake, you're being dramatic. You're overthinking. It's not a big deal. I was just lonely, that's all. You know I love you." She kept insisting it was just sex, that it didn't mean anything, that she didn't plan to leave me, but I wasn't buying her bullshit anymore. "Are you serious?" I asked her, voice trembling with anger. "You're telling me this is all just some stupid fling? That during my mom's funeral, while I was grieving, you and Ryan were sneaking off to cheat on me? That all these months you've been lying, pretending to be this perfect wife, and behind my back you're having sex with my best friend? How dumb do you think I am?" She scoffed. "Oh please, you think I'm some whore. Ryan and I were just bored. It's not like we're planning to run away or anything. I told you sex, Jake, it's just sex. I don't love him, I don't love you less. I just needed to feel something, you know. You've been so distant lately and I was feeling neglected. Don't make it into some big drama, shit happens." I couldn't believe her, the way she spun it, like she was the victim, like I was overreacting. That bitchy tone, that exaggerated shrug, it made me want to punch her in the face. I looked her dead in the eyes and told her she could pack her shit and get out of my house. I told her she was a lying, manipulative bitch who had no respect for what we had. I wanted her gone, to cut the poison out of my life, so I did just that. She laughed, that cold, mocking laugh, and said, "Fine. Do what you want, Jake, but you're making a huge mistake." She stormed out, slamming the door behind her, leaving me standing there, feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach all over again. The aftermath was a blur of shock and anger. I kept replaying everything she said, everything she did. How she dismissed my feelings, how she insisted it was just sex, that I was overreacting. But I knew better now. I knew she was lying. She always lied when it was convenient for her. That's who she was. I couldn't believe I'd been so blind, so naive. She was a bitchy, manipulative woman who didn't care about me at all. And Ryan, the betrayal of my best friend, the person I thought I could trust most. Every time I thought about it, my stomach turned. I decided to do some digging, figure out exactly how long this had been going on. I hacked into her email, her social media, anything I could find. And what I found was worse than I expected. There were texts dating back almost a year, more than I thought she'd be willing to admit. The sex, the sneaking around, the lies, it all added up. They'd been planning this, I could tell. I felt so stupid for trusting them, for thinking I'd built a life with someone who could lie so easily. At this point, I didn't know if I'd ever forgive her. Part of me wanted to burn this whole thing down, confront Ryan, tell everyone what they'd done. But another part just wanted to get out, to start fresh somewhere far away from all this. The pain was raw, and I couldn't tell if I'd ever recover from the shock of it all. The worst part, knowing she'd lied to me during my grief, that she'd used my moment of vulnerability to sneak around with my best friend. That was what broke me most. I thought I knew her, but I was clearly just fooling myself. Now I'm sitting here not sure what the future holds. All I know is I have to get away from this toxic relationship, whether that means fighting to save what's left or walking away for good. I've learned that trust is fragile, and once it's broken, it's almost impossible to fix. And the pain, that's something I'll carry with me for a long, long time. But I'm also starting to realize that I deserve better than to be lied to, betrayed, and used. I just hope I find the strength to move on, no matter how much it hurts right now. It's been a few weeks since I threw her out, and honestly, it's been a roller coaster of emotions. Some days I feel numb, like I've lost part of myself, while other days I'm filled with a quiet rage that's hard to shake. The worst part is that the betrayal of Lisa and Ryan isn't just a scar. It feels like a gaping wound that keeps bleeding. I keep asking myself how I let it get so bad, how I missed all the signs, how I was so blind to the woman I loved. But then I remind myself I wasn't. She was the one lying, manipulating, sneaking around behind my back. I've moved out of the house, staying with a friend for now, trying to get some space to breathe. I can't stand going back there. Everything reminds me of her, her perfumes, her clothes, the way she used to smile at me like I was the only thing that mattered. Now all I see is the betrayal. I've been talking to some close friends, trying to make sense of it all. A couple of them told me I should just cut her out completely, that she wasn't worth my time or energy. And honestly, that's what I've been leaning toward. But I also keep thinking about how everything changed so fast. One moment I'm planning our future, thinking we're happy. The next, I find out she's been cheating on me with my best friend during my mother's funeral. It's like my entire life was a lie. I feel stupid for trusting her, for believing she was the one. She was manipulative from the start, always bitchy, quick to lie, and now I see she was just pretending to be the perfect wife. And Ryan, God, I can't even believe I ever called him a friend. How could he do this to me, to us? I did some digging into her phone, her social media, trying to understand how deep this all went. What I found confirmed the worst. They'd been sleeping together for months, probably longer. The texts were filled with promises, explicit photos, and plans to meet again. I even found messages where she'd made excuses to see him, told him I was busy with work or not in the mood. It's like she was living a double life and I was just a bystander, completely clueless. The most hurtful part is that she lied so convincingly. When we talked after I found out, she kept insisting it was just sex, that she didn't love him or care about him. She said she was confused, that she still loved me, and that it was just a mistake. But I could see through her bullshit. I know her well enough to know she's good at lying, but this was different. This was betrayal on a level I never expected from someone I trusted with my life. I've started seeing a therapist, just trying to make sense of everything. It helps to talk, to get it out in the open. But inside I'm still angry, furious at her, at Ryan, even at myself for ever trusting them. I keep replaying the moments when I was vulnerable, the times I needed her most and she was out sneaking around. That thought makes my stomach turn. How could she do this to me, to my family, to my mother's memory? It's hard to wrap my head around it all, and honestly, I don't know if I ever will. Now I'm focused on one thing, moving forward. I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive her completely, but I do know I have to find a way to let go of the pain, to rebuild my life. I've started looking for a new place to live, focusing on myself for once. I want to be around people who genuinely care, who won't lie or betray me. It's not about revenge anymore. It's about reclaiming my life piece by piece. I've realized I deserve honesty and respect, and I won't settle for anything less. The hardest part is accepting that I might never get closure, that I might never fully understand why she did this, or how she could be so cruel. But I also know I can't keep living in the past. I need to focus on healing, even if that means facing some uncomfortable truths. I've learned the hard way that sometimes the people we trust the most can turn out to be the biggest enemies. And that's a lesson I won't forget anytime soon. I just hope someday I can look back and see this as the moment I took back control of my life and started to heal. Now, with some time behind me, I've come to realize that the biggest lesson I've learned is about self-respect. I trusted Lisa because I believed in the vows we made, believed she was my partner, my best friend. But her actions proved that I was fooling myself. She didn't value me, didn't respect what we had. That realization hit hard, but it also freed me. I no longer have to carry her lies or her betrayal. I can finally start to rebuild my life on my own terms. I've cut out all contact with her. No more texts, no more calls, no more pretending she's still part of my world. I've thrown away everything that reminded me of her, her clothes, her jewelry, even some of the photos. It's painful, but I know it's necessary. Holding on to those things only kept the past alive, and I need to move forward. I've started seeing new people, building new friendships, and slowly I'm beginning to feel like myself again. Looking back on everything, I see how naive I was to think I could fix this, that maybe, just maybe, she'd see the damage she caused and want to make it right. But that was a fantasy. The truth is, people who cheat and lie don't change overnight. Trust is broken, and sometimes it's better to walk away than to try and put the pieces back together. I've realized that sometimes love isn't enough. Respect and honesty matter more. And when those are gone, it's better to let go and focus on healing. I won't pretend I'm over everything. The pain, the anger, the disappointment, they're still with me. But I'm learning to live with it. I know I'll never forget what happened, but I refuse to let it define me. Instead, I see it as a wake-up call, a harsh reminder that I need to pay more attention, to trust my instincts, and to never ignore the signs of betrayal again. Most of all, I've learned that I am worthy of someone who truly cares, who respects me, and who values honesty. I don't need someone like Lisa, who would cheat during my most vulnerable moments to make me happy. I deserve better, and I'm committed to finding it. My life now is about rebuilding, rediscovering myself, and making sure I never allow anyone to treat me like that again. So if there's one piece of advice I can give anyone in a similar situation, trust yourself, trust your gut. When something feels wrong, don't dismiss it because you love someone. Because in the end, love isn't enough if it's built on lies and betrayal. Take care of yourself, learn from your pain, and never settle for anything less than respect and honesty, because you deserve it.